بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وشفيع المذنبين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وحبيب إله العالمين الرسول الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين، لا سيما البضعة الطاهرة سيدة نساء العالمين من الأولين والآخرين فاطمة الزهراء البتول صلوات الله وسلامه عليها. سأل النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: ما خير للمرأة؟ فأجابت الزهراء سلام الله عليها: ألا ترى رجلا ولا يراها رجل. صدق رسول الله وصدقت بضعته الطاهرة الزهراء. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. There are many important points in life history of Fatimah al-Zahra salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayha, which is not easy, clear and understandable by people and needs a depth of explanation and understanding. And sometimes you see our brain stops to understand that high position of Fatimah al-Zahra salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayha. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one day he said in the mosque, he asked the Muslim, what is good for the women? Now many people, they relate this hadith in different way. Some said, ما أفضل شيء للمرأة. But I have checked, it looks, the hadith was what is خير, ما خير للمرأة, what is good for the women. And the Sahaba all were there. Even Imam Ali alayhi salam was there, though Imam Ali could have replied, no doubt about his knowledge, but he preferred that he should not give the reply. And all kept quiet. Then Imam Ali came to the house and he told the story to Fatimah al-Zahra salamullah alayha that today the Holy Prophet said, ما خير للمرأة, and nobody could reply. She said, هلا قلتم له, why not you have told him, الخير للمرأة لا ترى رجلا ولا يراها رجل. The good thing for the women is not to see any man and not to be seen by any man. Then Imam Ali salamullah alayh returned back to the mosque and told the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, the answer of your question is this. The Prophet asked, Ya Ali, you was here, you did not reply. Who told you this answer? He said, Fatimah al-Zahra told me. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said 3 times, Fidaha abuha, Fidaha abuha, Fidaha abuha. May her father be ransomed for her. Well, that is really great word to be said by the Prophet, in which the Holy Quran says about the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. He is not speaking from his own desires. So what he says on in huwa, it is but a revelation comes to him. So when he say fidaha abuha, it is not an emotion. He was very much appreciating his daughter and talking. No, that emotion is not there with the words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because whatever he says is haqq. there is no exaggeration. Exaggeration is not haqq. Haqq part of it, and then exaggeration is not haqq. So the Prophet do not use exaggeration in his words, as the Holy Quran is not using exaggeration in its ayahs, because exaggerations are not haqq, are extra. You show something too big, it is not big, So you have to say according to its own size, to its own characters, its own limits. So when the Prophet says about his daughter, fidaha abuha, really sometimes you find it difficult how to explain this word from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what great position Fatimah Al-Zahra has to get this word from her father, salamullahi alayhi. Now here many people ask, what does it mean, the woman to be jailed at home? It is not like that. Islam is not saying the woman to be jailed at home. Here it's talking what is the best position, usual way. The best position is neither the woman going out in the street and seeing the people, nor the people are looking to her body, and if at all she has to go out, then has to be covered with a proper hijab so that her body will not be seen by others. And we know this word of Fatimah Al-Zahra, I say this because some people, they say, well, this is exaggeration, we cannot accept it. This is too much about women, this is too extreme way. No, it is not extreme and not too much. The people, unfortunately, sometimes under influence of media, they do not understand Islamic values and its philosophy in life. The Holy Quran also says that, وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُنَّ مَتَاعًا فَاسْأَلُوهُنَّ مِنْ وَرَاءِ حِجَابٍ. If you ask them for something, then you ask them from behind a hijab. And the Holy Quran add, ذَلِكَ أَطْهَرُ لِقُلُوبِكُمْ وَقُلُوبِهِمْ. That is more pure for your hearts and for their women's heart. So it is for purity of the hearts. One is not supposed to see the woman, and the woman is not supposed to see the man. Even one day, Ibn Maktoum, who was blind, he asked permission to enter the house of the Prophet. The Prophet was, it looks, in the house of Fatimah Al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha. When he knocked the door and he said, I want to see the Prophet asked his daughter that he want to enter. She said, okay, wait for me to have my hijab. The Prophet told her that he is blind, he is not seeing. She said, yes, if he is blind, but I am not blind. I can see him. And also he can smell the fragrance. So he should not smell and I should not see him. So here also the Holy Prophet appreciated his daughter greatly about that, to be a model, a good model for the women of the world. That is why she is Sayyidatu Nisa al-Alameen min al-awwalin wal-akhirin. You see the first influence on the man, and well, it is an influence for the women, that is from physiology, I say, and psychology, is the look. The first look, if it is without concentration, is okay, will not affect the person. But if you want to look, the second look with concentration, and here it will stimulate him, and well, again, the women also will be stimulated. So that is why in hadith said, al-nadratul ula, like the first look is for you, that is okay, because that is without concentration. وَالثَّانِيَ عَلَيْكَ, the second one is against you. وَالثَّالِثَ فِيهَا هَلَاكُكَ, the third look, if you intentionally want to look, means you are already influenced by that, so you try for a third time to look, and with that you will perish. Perish means that is beginning of pulling your leg toward the haram things. So the mu'min is asked not to look, and with that he can prevent being near to haram, or God forbid, ultimately falling in haram. If he is decide that not to look at all, naturally whatever looks are there in the street or whatever is the first look, which is without concentration, without a special thinking about it, and that will not have bad effect on him. But then if he want to intentionally continue looking, naturally that is beginning of affecting him. And the Holy Quran mentioned about hijab, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ, and then the ayah after that, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغُضُّضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنْ. Actually, the Quran started with hijab of the man, then hijab of the women. Hijab of the man is to break his vision. Tell the male believers to break their vision. يغضوا, turn away, or to break his gaze or his vision. And then the ayah after that say وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ, and say the female believers to break their vision. So breaking the vision means not to look intentionally, and when somebody walk in the street or in the university or in the market or anywhere, if he is not stressing in his vision, he will not be affected. But if he is stressed to look and try second look and third look, naturally that will be the beginning of the wrong relations, or at least he will be affected in his mind. He will start, when he is alone, to imagine things, and that will lead to bad consequences. I don't want to go into details of that. So what I mean, Fatimah al-Zahra salamullah alayha replied such a short reply and a beautiful answer, that is the best thing, or what is good for the women is not to see a man, and for no man to see her. Now if she is supposed to study, for example, now naturally Fatimah al-Zahra salamullah alayha is not saying that the girls should not go to school and study, but if they study in a separate school, I mean a school for girls only, naturally that is better for them than to be mixed, you know. If she go to university, and if she can be, if there are certain universities only for girls, then naturally that is better. And if she is working in an office or anywhere, and if those who are with her in one room or around her are usually the women, naturally that is better for her. So wherever she goes, if she is with the women around her rather than men, that is better. And I don't think anybody will say it is not better. It is of course better, very natural and very easily understood. Actually there are some scientific studies on the schools. They said the schools where the boys are separate and the girls are separate, the students will have better concentration and better marks. And if the school is mixed, then the marks of the students is lower. Well, that is because their mind is diverted toward each other, and they are not concentrating on the subjects to study. You know, so that is the beginning of, let us say, influence. And well, naturally that is an instinctive desire, and that desire cannot be controlled. It will lead to bad consequences unless one stop it from the beginning. In Islam, there is a saying, they say there is hima. Hima means the protection surrounding. You see, if there is a well, for example, and you want to put a wall around the well, you will not put it on the well itself, because somebody may fall. So you put it aside, let us say half meter from this side, half meter from this side, so the people will not come near that extra border you are putting. Just care and more protection, so that one will not come even near to it, is little away of that. That is the hima, which means protection. Now, sometimes you will not put the rules and regulations on the border that if your leg slips, then you will fall. You say, no, you put it little aside so that there will be no chance for you to fall. And that is why here about relation between men and women, when he said the hima is not to look, because that what will lead to bad consequences later on. So from the beginning, even the first look, one will not attempt to look unless it come automatically without consideration. Then naturally the second look will never come, because he is deciding not to look even the first look. Even first look is not there unless by way without concentration, is not aware of that. So that protection is what protect the men and protect the women and then protect the society. We know the diseases which are affecting the society due to, well, wrong relations between men and women. In Islam, they said that relation is accepted but has to be through marriage. And he said that is the right way, that is the natural way, that is the way which give atmi'nan and house will be proper for both of them. And if they get children, naturally they are their children, and they are sure that they are their children, and they are honest to each other, they do not look to others. So that house is needed for both of them, which to be peaceful and proper one. But if the relation are haphazard relations, the man had many relations and the woman has many relations, even if they live at one house, their mind is diverted toward others. Well, sometimes you see in the jokes, they make a joke for the men. They said the men will see or will think all the women of the world as beautiful except his wife. Maybe his wife is more beautiful than others, but because the mind is diverted. So that is the usual case. And that will come from not observing this rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which also explained by Fatimah Al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. They say that she has not to look and not to be seen by others. Now in statistics in America, I say in America because statistics are done there. Maybe other countries is not done, or I have not read it. They said sometimes in certain areas up to 80% of the women, working women, are facing sexual harassment from the boss who is head of the company or the firm, and 46% of them, they say we have to surrender to him, otherwise we will lose our job. So now what dignity remained for the women? What honor remained for the women? Well, leave halal and haram. I don't say halal and haram. Maybe somebody do not believe in halal and haram. But do you think that the woman to be enslaved in this way, is that an honor for her? Even if it is, she doesn't believe in halal and haram. Is that the honor of the woman? Is that she has to sell herself in order to get the job, otherwise she will be fired and will lose the job. So what is slavery more than that in the modern society happening? They say civilized, but they say the civilization, this is the end. So you see, that is, the thing is like that, Well, in Islam, divorce is allowed, but there are a lot of rules and regulations to prevent that. Well, morally and psychologically and religiously advises that it is the most unwanted or hated halal. Allah hates that, but He made it allowed, lawful. And still, though it is allowed, hardly you see in a Muslim society divorce to happen. The ratios are low, let us say in a pure Muslim society, not the Muslim governments nowadays, because their society is not living Islamic way. Some of the Muslim governments now, they are not living in Islamic way, living westernized way naturally, ratio of divorce increased. But if you go to the conservative Muslim societies, hardly you get any case of divorce. While in America or in European countries, though they are mostly Christians, and in Christianity divorce is not allowed, still they go and do civil divorce. And the ratio in America is the highest, is about 66% of the marriages will end to divorce. Well, in England and in France is about 48, 50, 46, 50%. So half of the marriages will end to divorce. Though they usually before marriage, they know each other for 2-3 years, and they studied the mood and behavior and economy and morals and ethics of each other very well. Still, after marriage, unfortunately, it will lead to divorce. Why? Because the mind of the man is always looking to others, and also his wife is looking to others. Well, when there is a mixed society, she works in somewhere and he works somewhere else, and she is under a pressure from looking with other men, and he is influenced by other women around him, and then this will be the result. So wasn't it better that the women not to see the men and the men not to see the women, so that the man will see his wife as the most beautiful wife in the world, because he has not seen other one, and he accepts that as a fact, and he will be lawful and loyal. He will be loyal to his wife, and he will not go to in the wrong ways. So these are actually Islamic values. One word of Islam is giving solution to thousands of problems of society. Now, when you come to the other aspect, the suffering of the children who suffer because of divorce of the parents. You know that there are a lot of studies, if divorce happened, and you see divorce happened because of the looking, that is the main issue. Now, ultimately, the children will suffer. Those children will grow not in a normal way. Many of them will be murderer, will be attacking others, will be angry, will be sick, and then now the society has to keep more police to control them, more jails to jail them, more schools to look after them, specifically more doctors to treat their diseases. So all that naturally will cost money, and that money is to be taken as tax from others. Naturally, it will affect the economy of the society. If you come to other aspect, the venereal diseases which are prevailed in the society, and there are about 25 diseases. One of them well known nowadays, the AIDS, before the syphilis and gonorrhea and herpes and so on. These are well-known diseases at times, though some of them have a treatment nowadays, but still the number of people affected by that is in millions. The gonorrhea or syphilis, still the number in millions every year are affected, but they can be treated. Still, a percentage of them, there is resistance to the antibiotics and cannot be treated. And when it comes to AIDS disease, which is well known nowadays, before, 10, 15 years before, in America, they used to say they spend $5 billion every year for treatment of AIDS cases. And recently I read in a report, they said America is spending $25 billion every year to treat cases of AIDS. $25 billion, that is a budget for taking care of a poor country. Millions of people will live happily with $25 billion budget. And then in America, they spend that money because they can afford it. And they can afford the medicine, which is very costly, and afford the hospitals and the beds in hospitals and so on. But in Africa, when they cannot afford costly disease and they do not give medicine, the ratio is increasing, that at certain countries, 50% of the people are infected by AIDS disease. And then number of people who are dying, every year in hundreds of thousands, or gradually will be in millions, because there is no treatment. So you see, all those problems which had ruined the society could have been saved and could have been get rid of it if we would have followed what Fatimah Al-Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha has said, that the best thing for the women is not to see any man and not to be seen by any man. You see, this is rule of Quran, and Quran, whatever say, is haqq, the truth. The truth means there is no other truth beside this. This is the only truth. If we say no, this is exaggeration, okay, we have a problem. If we say we will not accept this, don't be fanatic, no fanatic means that is the other problem is there. And the other, we say, problems are there, let us say the illegitimate children. Well, the government has to look after them. The city in each town, they have to look after illegitimate children who are unwanted children. They are thrown in the hospitals or in the church or other areas. Well, their number in tens of thousands every year. So imagine the budget they have to spend on them in order to raise them up because they were unwanted. If they say about, let us say, teenagers pregnancy, well, again, the problem comes from there. Teenager pregnancy and the problems, psychological and social and family problems which are formed by that. And well, there are a lot of studies about it, and the society is in trouble about that phenomena, but they cannot help it. It is already available. Well, this is beside the unknown problems like using the contraceptive pills. These pills are hormones, and the hormones are having side effects on the body. First of all, we'll change the hormones of the normal hormones of the body. Secondly, it has side effects like effect on the heart or on the arteries or on the veins, and then problems, medical problems happens beside of that, and its effect on the mood of the women, because that hormone has its effect on the mood of the women. So now when the mood is not there, naturally it will affect their work in the society and with, let us say, with the family and with the children, with the husband, the relation. So all that will, if you take it together, you see the society will be ruined if it is not following what Fatimah Al-Zahra salamullahi alayha has said, which is the saying of the Holy Quran. If they follow that, well, the society will be happy. Now, such a great lady to mention these remedies for the mankind from that time, 1,400 years before, and it will continue remedy for the society till Day of Judgment, and will solve very difficult and severe problems facing the societies everywhere and every country at any area. Now, that how can you evaluate that lady, salamullah alayha? That is why the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, fidaha abuha, because appreciated what she says greatly. Unfortunately, the Prophet appreciated her, but the Ummah did not appreciate. In spite of that, the Holy Prophet insisted many times and told the people about the greatness of Fatimah Al-Zahra, but the Ummah did not treat fairly with her. From the very beginning, they attacked her house. After that, they got the land of Fadak, which was for her, and that was gifted by the Prophet to Fatimah Al-Zahra. She asked that this is land in my hand for 3 years. I am the owner of that, and I am getting that money, and I am having an agent working there. They sent someone to throw the agent of Fatimah Al-Zahra, who is responsible to run the agriculture of that area, and they put their own agent, and they said, no, we'll take all the crops and all will be for us. Salamullah alayha, she came and she asked, but still they did not respected her. Now we see somebody honorable, somebody who is purified by Allah, daughter of the Prophet, so much stress about her greatness from the Holy Prophet, and then people will say, no, we don't care for you, we do not believe you, whatever you say, we will not accept that. And that actually had such a severe effect on her that she came back at home and was complaining to Imam Ali alayhi salam that I talked to people, I preached them, I taught them, but still they do not listen. And Amir al-Mu'mineen Salamullah alayh was suffering probably similar to that or more than that. He said to Fatimah al-Zahra, Ya bint Rasulullah, it is not that when I pass the people are not saying salam to me, they are not greeting me. When I greet them, they do not reply me. Say how Imam Salamullah alayh tolerated that he come and tell people if they are sitting, say Salamun alaykum, the people turn their face away, were not replying Imam Ali alayhi salam. So that was the situation really till ultimately at age of 18 years she passed away because of the sufferings and the pain and the diseases which she had from the torture of the people. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم بحق الزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها ارزقنا من فضلك خير الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم كما جمعتنا في الدنيا في مجلس الزهراء فاجعلنا معهم في الآخرة في أعلى عليين مع الشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. اللهم اقض بالزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها حوائجنا. اللهم اشف بهم مرضانا. اللهم ارحم بهم موتانا. اللهم اغفر بهم ذنوبنا. اللهم اقض بهم حوائجنا. اللهم ارزقنا بهم خير الدنيا والآخرة. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة قبلها صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. بسم الله.